Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your CEO, Kevin Adams.
All right, I know it's getting late, so we're going to really get to this next session quick, and Dr. Cho is going to come out and join us real quick, and he'll do a proper introduction for John Anderson. So please welcome Dr. Suk Cho.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hi, guys. I know it's getting late, isn't it? Did you guys all have E+ shots? We're going to need it. All right, well, can you feel that we're going to be global growth company? Well, because we're running out of time, just going to show you just one slide. Let's just move to the slide. When you look at this stats, world needs help, right? So that means we have a huge opportunity for Isogenic Associate. Do you agree? Now, John and I and whole team's been really busy doing product registration, and there's a lot of questions that came from some of the reformulation work, some of the name changes, etc. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite our founder, our master formulator and creator of Product B, John Anderson. Will you welcome him to the stage, please?
All right, son.
Good to see you again. You're a trooper, John.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is most exciting. I love international. And, before we get started, can I just say a couple of words about international?
I think so.
You don't know what you're in for. Now, as a private label manufacturer dating way back to 1980, up through about 1998, I was doing business with a lot of companies and manufacturing different products. So Singapore was a major port that I used to ship to. I used to ship sometimes 2 containers, the 40-foot trucks, 2 containers a week. Then it got up to 5 containers a week, and sometimes 10 containers in 1 week. Now, can you imagine how much product you can fit in 1 container? And this was for other companies back then. This was like in the early 90s, the mid-90s, and so forth. And the opportunity is so big. Now, those products would filter out, into KL, over into Indonesia and so forth, but it was kind of a major hub. So I used to travel over there quite a bit. If you get the chance, it's absolutely fantastic for you to travel over, go to Taiwan, stop in KL, Kuala Lumpur, and so forth. You're really going to love it. The opportunity is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really excited about this tonight. So,
Me too. And
yes.
I'll tell you, every time I travel out there, people are so friendly. I mean, they're ready for Isogenics.
Yeah, they are. Actually, they are so friendly. I was doing business with one gentleman, and he said, "John, you're such a great businessman, and we've done so much business. You could give my daughter a very good life." And he gave me his daughter. And I said, "David, that is the most unique, most special gift I've ever had in my life." He gave me his daughter to bring home because he knew I'd provide a good life for her, and I had to decline because I didn't think my wife would appreciate me showing up home with the new wife.
I'm sure not. All right, John. Well,
we can get down to business.
Yeah, let's get down to business, because I know these guys are eager to know about. We've been getting a lot of questions. Why what we've been doing. So, John, you've been really busy. We've all been busy, right?
We've been really busy.
Can you update them in terms of what we've been doing in terms of formulating products for shakes, cleanse, and ionics for international market?
Well, we've been working a lot on international formulations, looking at the markets, looking at the behaviors, the habits of each different country, what they like, what they dislike, the types of flavors they like, savory, you'd even explained to me chocolate and vanilla were not, as appealing as some of the other flavors like black sesame and so forth. So we have to really work on developing formulas that have the same efficacy, the same potency to fit the market. So it's really appealing. What we like here in the United States may not be, what, the palate is, let's say, in KL. So that's really been a major thing. I've been working with the research and development team and Sook very close, especially with some of the consultants that have been working with the company. Looking at the regulatory, looking at the laws, the perimeters of what we can and can't do. So it's been a lot of work. Quite a bit of work.
Well, not only that, regulation changes constantly, doesn't it? I mean, even look at Health Canada, for example, all the change that we've gone through. But anyhow, some of the regulation, I'm sure audience wants to know, the regulations do change. What are some of the things that give us some challenges and hurdles?
Well, ingredients. Some ingredients are allowed, some ingredients are not allowed, and there are limits, sometimes minimums and sometimes maximums of what can be used. So we have huge obstacles, excuse me, where we have to make adjustments. Sometimes we have to remove an ingredient and add something else or increase some of the other active ingredients to have the same result. That's really been, a problem. The source of the ingredients, sometimes that's a limitation. So we have to follow the guidelines of the sources. The parts of the plant, whether it be the seed or the bark or the stem, the leaf.
Or even fruits. Even fruits or stems or barks. All those been a challenge.
That's really an issue. Sometimes they'll say, well, you can use the root, but you can't use the leaf. You can't use the seed. So we have to really overcome and work on that. Also, the type of delivery, that's really important. Sometimes we have to take what we would consider, let's say, a chewable or a tablet or a capsule, and we have to put it in a unique, different carrier, maybe in, kind of via like a food type snack, because sometimes it's not allowed, to have capsules and so forth. So that's really a challenge. And then also labeling. I mean, countless hours are spent just in getting the formulas ready and then being compliant with the labeling to make sure that the government in that area is going to, approve these labels. So that's
right.
A very big challenge.
Well, for example, One More Energy. Obviously we call One More Energy in the United States, but in Canada, I think we call it Energenics. So because you can't make claims through the labels, and even some Latin names and the plant parts, you got to be really very specific about that. John, I know we have people are curious about, are we going to have product B? And there's a high demand for product B. So how do we make sure that the product B still work after we have to reformulate to comply to those local countries?
Well, we touched on that a little earlier, on Australia, for example. And balancing things. Fortunately, there are multiple active ingredients that work, that I've filed patents on and so forth. So there's a lot to choose from. We're not dependent on one ingredient. We're not a one-hit wonder ingredient. Unfortunately, we've put the financial dedication into continuing the research and the screening, so we have multiple ingredients. So let's say one ingredient has a limitation or it's not allowed. I've got 29 more. I've got 32 more.
I tell you, he's very creative, and we're able to make some pretty good product B for Australia. That was a big success.
Oh, you're going to love that product.
All right.
I hear him. I hear him.
Right there. So anyhow, the Australia has been a challenging country for us, but so is China, wasn't it? I mean,
China
you know,
is.
oh my goodness. We've been working for several months and well over a year to get some of these products launched. Should we show them a slide with all the product that we're launching in China?
Oh, yeah.
Can you see this? So we got Isolene shakes, all the flavor, chocolate, vanilla, and black sesame. We also have Isolene Pro, natural chocolate and vanilla flavor. Of course, the One More Energy, Cleanse for Life. Are you excited about that?
Woo!
And of course, Ionic Stream, and E Plus, and T Plus. And this has been a fun job. I mean, it was fun doing the whole project together. So it's a pretty significant list of products, don't you agree?
Now, I have to say one thing.
Yep.
This is the man right here that is responsible for the black sesame shake and the tea chai. The first, Isagenix is the first, and Suk was the one that brought that forward and thought of the flavors, done the research and everything. I want all of you to give Suk and his R&D team a big hand, because he's the man responsible for that. So, Suk, I bow to you. You're awesome.
But you know what? Honestly, at the end of the day, it has a great nutritional profile John created. So my job was easy. Thank you, John.
Yeah, I really appreciate working with you, because the intelligence of this man, the scientific mind that Suk has, we're so lucky. Isagenix, we're all so lucky to have Dr. Suk Cho with us. So I want you to know that.
Thank you. Well, it's been a fun project. You know, we are being innovative, because if you've seen Kevin's slide, they use different type of palettes. You know, chocolate and vanilla, I would not say it's one of the main flavor. But if you look at what they're eating and the type of palate, they prefer more savory. And black sesame is considered what I call a pleasant flavor. It's in their food, cake, and confection. So it was a great combination, great teamwork, and I'm glad we did it. Well, John, in China, many capsules are considered to be quasi-drug, also known as blue cap. And I know from product registration perspective, it could take several years to do a product registration. But I think we're finding a very creative way to deliver product B in China, right? What are you working on for China?
For product B?
Yeah.
Well, product B is very unique. Blue cap, as Suk had stated, is kind of a term they use. You can't have tablets or capsules in that form, because it's considered a blue cap. And, you know, that's a completely different market. That's like a pharmaceutical would be here. So we're thinking about what would really go over big. What would really be, you know, acceptable in China for product B. We came up with a brilliant, Suk and I, black sesame seeds with molasses chewable treat. Wow, they're good.
It is good.
So
I can't wait to get that thing moving.
Well,
it's going to take some work.
Here about 30 days ago, you know, we made another batch.
Right.
And, you know, I had the tray of them, and I'm working at my computer, and I ate one. That was one capsule. I had about 40 of them. I had 40 capsules of product B, and I realized it within about 4 hours. Oh my gosh, you know, I've had almost a whole bottle of product B. So when those are on the market, you've got to be careful, because it's like, you know, Lay's potato chips commercial. You can't eat just one. So you're going to...
It was good.
But they're really going to be
It
good.
was really good.
The potency, the efficacy, well, I'm not going to make any claims right now, but it's equally as potent as the U.S., if not maybe a little more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't hear that from me.
You didn't tell me that.
So we're going to have to get the U.S. up to that same level.
Well, we still got a lot of work to do. Now, you notice that the IsoFlush and accelerators, are not in there. Obviously, it's in capsule form, so it's going to take
Right.
a long time for product registration. So there's a lot of questions about, can we still get effectiveness without accelerated isoflush? So you had some good stories about this.
You know, there was a study, UIC, that study in particular vetted that, let's say you don't have the snacks, and the isoflush, the system worked just as well. Originally, actually, Dr. Harper was involved in the isoflush. That was made specifically for those that experience problems with constipation. So, but it didn't really have anything to do with the weight loss, and that was vetted in this study. That was very important because you don't have to have the isoflush in order to achieve your goals. Now, if you do experience constipation, you can always resort to magnesium capsules and so forth, and until such time as we can be creative again. And also, that's also applies for the snacks. You can actually replace the snack until we, someday have, that in a different form, maybe a little treat, not a chewable. And you can replace that by actually having a slice of fruit in order to keep your blood sugar up, to keep your metabolism going, and also to curb that craving. So just a little slice of fruit. I didn't say a whole apple or a whole pear, but maybe an eighth, and you can use that in place of that in the meantime. But the results are still there, even without the snacks. So I'm very excited.
Obviously, the University of Illinois study really validated that shake, cleanse, and onyx is really effective.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Very impressive.
Yes.
And it was a good study.
Well, thank you, John. Now, some people think that, I got a lot of calls say, hey, we don't have, let's say, mucuna, for example, in one of our ingredients in the Hong Kong formula. So, as soon as they think that one or two ingredients are missing, they think that there's efficacy changes. So how do you explain to people that the products are still effective without some of these ingredients?
Well, you can always increase other active ingredients.
Yep.
And just because we have to remove one ingredient, because of the laws, we want to be compliant. We do not want to go into a country and break the law or, be seen as the company that's trying to sneak something in that is actually either banned or limitations and so forth. We want to be 100% clean. We want to be the company that sets the example, so we're always going to be 100% compliant. And there are a lot of ways to do that. I don't like to use the analogy, there's two ways to skin a cat, because people don't like that. But I said it. But there are multiple ways to achieve the same goal. And, God put all of these miracle ingredients on this earth for us to pick and choose and find the different active components where we can put combinations together. If we have to remove something, we can put something else in. So even though the label changes, the formula changes, you're going to get the exact same results. Right. So that is going to work.
And I just want to concur with you because obviously...
Yeah,
all right.
That's right. we have a whole earth to choose from,
right.
And everything we need on this earth has a purpose.
Yeah, and there's a lot of studies that really support the synergistic effect of multiple ingredients. So yes. I think that really supports it. Well, obviously, John, I'm proud of our global team's dedication and our collaboration. Bottom line, once again, I get a lot of this type of question. Are the U.S. products better than the international formulation?
No.
Let's put an answer to this.
Pardon?
Let's give an answer to this question because
okay.
I hear this constantly.
So, are the U.S. products better than
international formulations?
Internationals? No.
Absolutely no.
They're not.
Exactly.
They're really not. I'm so excited to be able to get creative and make sure that these products have the efficacy that work, that are going to achieve every goal. They work as well. In some cases, I even think they're going to work better. So the answer to that, if anybody says, well, the label changed, I live in Canada, there's something different. I live in Australia, this ingredient is not in there. Rest assured, that product is going to work exactly the same. So.
And I think we stand by our formulation. Isogenic is no compromise. I mean, we provide no compromise products all throughout the world.
And we love global expansion.
Yes.
And we don't want one country to suffer and have an inferior product. That's not our style. So,
did you like the answers that we provide you tonight?
All right.
Isn't it wonderful? I tell you, it's been a fun project all throughout for the past 3 years, John. And thank you for being a mentor, friend, and we had a great experience. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we could tell more stories.
I know we can, but you know what? I think I'm seeing that they need
Sunday,
some more shots.
I'm going to tell you about a rainstorm going across a lake in Geneva. When Suk and I were in Switzerland, in a lightning storm, and he's holding on to metal rods. I thought, oh my gosh, if he gets hit by lightning, what are we going to do? He's irreplaceable.
Well, thank you, John, for a wonderful discussion.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you all.
Will you please give a big round of applause for John?